everybody, it's Jerry, and today I have a recipe by request. These are eclairs, and it's kind of a traditional style. There's a vanilla pudding filling and a carob ganache on top, which you can make chocolate very easily. And it's a little tricky. You have to get the consistency just right, and the piping has to be just right. I'm not quite perfect at it yet, but working on it, and I'll show you what I've got, and let's get started.
The first thing we're going to do is mix up our flours. So we're going to take 1/3 cup of brown rice flour and 1/4 cup of tapioca flour, mix those together and just set them aside. Then in a saucepan we're going to mix 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of vegan milk, and 1/4 cup of water, and then add 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. And just heat that up over medium heat until it comes to a boil. And then lower the heat and add in the flour mix. And continue stirring that for about 3 minutes. You want to make sure that you don't undercook this. It's going to get very thick and it's going to be difficult to stir, but just make sure that you cook it for at least 3 minutes until it's nice and a nice dough consistency. And then transfer that to a mixing bowl, to a standard mixing bowl. And then we're going to take 1/4 cup of yellow mung beans, which have been soaked overnight, and put them in a food processor along with 1/4 cup of water and 1 tablespoon of oil. And then we're going to process that all together until it's nice and smooth. And then take our stand mixer with a dough beater, dough attachment, and on medium speed start mixing up the cooled dough. Make sure it's completely cooled, and then just spoon in the mung bean mixture a little bit at a time. Until you've incorporated all of the mixture. And then turn the mixer up to high speed. Make sure that the dough is all completely smooth. There's no lumps in it or anything. And then we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And mix that in until it's all incorporated. And then chill the dough for about 30 minutes to an hour. While we're doing that, we can make our filling. So we're going to take 1 can of coconut milk, which has been chilled overnight, and scoop out the cream from the top. Add in 1/4 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And while that's heating up over medium heat, we can take 1 heaping tablespoon of kuzu, mix it with some of the liquid from the coconut milk in the bottom of the can, and just mix that together until the kuzu is all completely dissolved, and set that aside. Meantime, we're going to bring our coconut milk mixture to a boil. So just mix it up as it's heating up. Once it starts boiling, we're going to add in the kuzu mixture. And then lower the heat and continue whisking it. It'll thicken up fairly quickly. And just continue cooking that for about a minute. Meantime, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Now we're going to take our choux, which has been chilled, and using a 1-inch piping tip, we're going to pipe about 4-inch long éclairs on a baking sheet. I'm using a silpat. You could also use parchment paper as well. And we should get about 8 éclairs. And then we're going to lower the heat to 350 degrees and bake for 35 minutes. Now take the éclairs and turn them over onto their back sides. And I'm using a chopstick. You can use anything that's small to poke holes on either side of the éclair. Just 2 holes on either side. And then once they're completely cooled, just use the chopstick again and just poke around in there just to make sure it's completely hollow inside. And then we can take our filling, which has been completely cooled, and fill the éclairs. And you can feel them kind of bulge up a little bit on the bottoms when they're completely full. And just fill it from either side through those same holes that we poked through. And then just scrape off the excess filling from the tops. And now we're going to make our ganache for the top. So we're going to take 2 tablespoons of coconut butter. A tablespoon of sugar. And a tablespoon of, this is carob powder. You could also use cocoa powder if you want to make a chocolate. And then just add a little bit of vegan milk, about a tablespoon at a time. And heat this up over medium heat while stirring it all together. And everything will start to melt together, and just add a little bit more vegan milk as needed until you get it to be a nice sort of pourable consistency. And then we can use this to frost the tops of the éclairs, and the frosting, this ganache will cool pretty quickly. So just spread it over the tops of all of the éclairs, and once they're completely cooled, they're ready to serve.
Thanks everybody for watching. Please tune in next time for some more recipes, and remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.